Here is how to create a simple braid for your character. So first off, we are going to add curve path. I'm going to move it up out of the way, and I'm going to take a top view, so looking down the Z. I'm just going to turn my character off for a minute. We don't need them right now. Here's my path. I'm going to go into edit mode on my path. I'm going to take this point using the move tool and move it down, and this point using the move tool, move it up. We're going to create sort of a zigzag shape. Now I'm going to right click and subdivide. Oh, select everything first, then right click and subdivide. There we go. We're going to take these 4 points, 1, 2 here, 3, 4 here, so before and after the zigzag. I'm going to take a front view now, front orthographic. And I'm going to move these up on the Z-axis, create a little bit of a curving shape. Let's see how that looks in object mode. See, we've got sort of a curving shape going on here. I'm going to go to my modifiers. I'm going to add modifier, generate array. This will let us repeat the shape. Let's see my options here. I'm going to set the offset X to 0.3. There, you can see, start of our braid. And I'm going to increase this just a little smidgen here, and this one down a little bit. And I'm just going to quickly go into my data and add a bevel, just so I can see how my braid is going to look. Just a round bevel for now. Let's thicken this up a little bit. There, you can see the braid is starting to form. Now let's go back to our modifiers, and I'm going to start to turn up the count on my array, and you will see our braid gets longer. So depending on how long you want your braid to be, I'll maybe do 10 or so. Nice long braid. You can use the scale X if you want to have sort of a tighter braid. Just depends on how you want it to look. You can play with these numbers and have more of a curl like so. So I'm going to do maybe 0.3. Looks good for me. I'm going to turn on merge as well. Now if you want sort of a more organic hair shape, you can add curve circle. Take a top view on our circle. I'm just going to scoot it out of the way so I can see it. Going into edit mode, select everything, right click subdivide. Maybe I'll bring these guys in and bring these two guys in like so. So more of an organic hair shape. Hair, oh, spell that right, hair profile. And we'll call this one braid. So on my braid, I think I'm going to use my hair profile. Change bevel to object, and the object will be our hair profile. You see shape there. So it's kind of a fun shape. I like that. But this is a little smidge too big for my liking, so I'm just going to scale this down. I'm just going to play with the scale until it looks how I like. It's clipping a little bit, but I don't really mind that too much. I like how this looks. Now, if you want, you can turn your character back on. Now, I want to place my braid. This is a little confusing, though. I think I'm going to place this a bit more intuitively. So I'm going to do add curve path. This will be our second path. I'm going to call this one hair, or I'm actually going to call it braid path. I'm going to move this so that it is in the center of my braid. Scale it up a little bit. Turn on X-ray just so I can see what I'm doing. Scale it about like so. So it's in the middle of my braid. And I'm going to take my braid itself. I'm going to add a modifier. Add modifier. And this one I want deform. Add modifier, deform curve. And guess which curve we're going to be deforming along? It'll be our braid path. There we are. Turn off X-ray now. Now I can take my braid path, go into edit mode, you can see, and actually I'm just going to scoot this over, just so that's right in the center of my braid. There. Now we'll go into edit mode. You can see we can move our braid around, and as well, just like with standard hair curves, you can use Alt-S to scale it in. So I'm going to take this whole thing and place it on my character's head. I'm going to take a top view, rotate it, using the G key to grab, moving it down. I'm going to place it inside my character's hair, just intersecting a little bit. Start it about like so. Now I'm going to take these other vertices, move them down, and I can start to rotate. This one needs to be moved over as well. I think I'm going to curve it around to the front, make a little shoulder braid. And if you feel as though you need more points, you can always hit E to extrude out. You can have a little more control over the end. So I'll try my best to place these nice and smoothly. And I think these ones I'm going to scale down a little bit. This is going to be a little fiddly, but I think I can handle it. Alt-S to scale it in. And then, of course, you can always make a little hair tuft at the end or a little ponytail holder if you like. Ooh, rotate those and place them right in front and move them down. There we go. That's starting to get how I want it to look. If you put like so. And I want it to go nicely around the shoulder here. Of course, you could always have it just hanging down. That's up to you. And if you feel as though your braid is a little too long or a little too thick, just go onto the braid itself in object mode here. Maybe I'll turn down the count a little bit. Maybe I'll just do 7 braids. Go back onto my path, edit mode. And I'll take these two, Alt-S to scale them in. Scale that thin, and there we go, got a braid. Now let's say you want to have more than one braid. That's pretty easy. I'm going to take my first braid, I'm going to use Shift D to duplicate. I'm actually going to remove the curve modifier, just so that it'll pop back to where it was. And I'll add in a second curve path. Bring that up. Scale it up a little bit so it's long enough. Pop it into the middle there. Now I'm going to rename these so I know which braid is which. So it's going to be braid 2, and this one will be braid path 2. So I know which one belongs to which. I'm going to add modifier, deform, curve. This braid's curve will be curve number 2, braid path number 2. There we go. I'm going to take that, pop it into the middle of my braid. Now I can go into edit mode on this. Maybe I'll have another braid on the side of my character's head. Rotate that around. And I would like this to be a bit of a smaller braid. I'm going to use Alt-S. And I think my braid itself might need to be a little smaller. So I'll do that in object mode here. Just have a little thin braid on the side of the character's head. Oh, braid path number 2, edit mode. Just going to grab that and I'll put it on the side of their head right there. Let's have another little shoulder braid, but this one's going to be a little thin one. There we go. And then for each additional braid you want, simply duplicate the braid itself, make another path, add the curve modifier, and that's it. You can modify each. You can also try out the radius tool if you want. To be a little thinner. Just a different way rather than pressing Alt-S. And you can also use the tilt if you want. If you want to kind of rotate it around. It's a little fiddly, but let's see what we can do. There we go. Sort of rotate it around the other way. If you want it to twist a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I've got 2 braids on the character.